everyone, Jolene. Today I would like to present about chapter 10.1, which is discuss what managers should know about organization change. First one is how can I be more creative at work? They got the four ways. The first way is proactive learning, which is to foster the habit of fearless asking questions about how everyday things work and where these come from. Choose one or two questions at a time and look for answer in book, article, podcast, and so on. Learn a sport or join a chorus, and as long as you are learning a new thing. The second one is positive approach. Positive feelings like gratitude, hopes, joys, and empathy have been shown to build creative thinking. Active, active these feelings with a little mindfulness. For example, reward yourself with a spacious meal if you achieve a small milestone in your life. The other expectations is about willingness to risk failures, which is accept failures with open arm and learn from it. The third one is problem solving. Is try to play chess because its reliance on repeated patterns will strengthen your predictive abilities. Or you can read detective novel by writers such as Agatha Christie or Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Or you also can solve crossword or an other pencil and paper puzzle. The last one is self motivations, which is setting creativity goals ignite the motivations to increase your levels of creativity. It will direct your attentions and effort at finding a creative way to perform your job. Now, the second topic is about fundamental change. What will be called on to deal with? The first one is the marketplace is becoming more semantic and moving towards more niche product. In the recent past, managers could think in terms of mass market, mass communications, mass behavior, and mass value. But now we have the massifications with customer groups becoming semantic into smallest and small and more specialized group responding to more narrowly targeted commercial message. For example, like the Subway, they will give the customer to customize their own meal. Okay. For the second point is more competitors are offering targeted product requiring faster speed to market. Companies offer a broad range of product. Service are now experiencing intense pressures from competitors offering specialized solutions and beating them to the punch by devising novel spend to market strategy. The third one is some traditional companies may not survive radical change. The process of disruptive innovations often is a shortcomings of well-established companies. Disruptive innovation is a process by which a product or service take roots initially in simple application at the bottom of a market and then realizing up to the market, eventually displacing established competitor. The first one is offshore. Supplies are changing the ways we work. Chinese, Indians, Mexicans, and the Philippines and other countries offer workers and even professionals willing to work twice as hard for half the pay, giving American business substantial level saving. The last one is knowledge, not information, is becoming the new competitive advantage. Unlike routine information handling, knowledge work is analyzing and involves problem solving and abstract reasoning. Exactly the kind of thing required of skillful management, professionals, salespeople, and financial analysts. Now the third topic is about two types of change, which is reactive change and proactive change. Reactive change means responding to unanticipated problem and opportunity. Reactive change is a making change in response to problems or opportunity as they arise. Another change is about proactive change, which is manages anticipated problem and opportunity. In contrast to reactive change, proactive change or planned change involve making carefully those out change in anticipations of possible or expectation, problems or opportunity. The last topic is about the force from change outside and inside the organizations. The outside force is including demographic characteristics, technological advancements, shareholders customize broader stakeholders concerns, and social political pressure. For the inside first, it include human resource concerns and managers' behavior. And these two first need for change. Um, this is my presentations and thank you for leading your ear.
Next, I will present about forms and model of change. This will divide into three parts. First is three forms of change, from least training to most training. Second is relevant change model, unfreezing, changing, and rephrasing. And third is a system approach to change. First, we talk about three forms of change. First, least training, adaptive change. Adaptive change is reintroductions of a familiar practice, the implementations of a kind of change that have already been experienced within the same organizations. This form of change is lower in complexity, cost, and uncertainty. Because it's familiar, it is the least training to employee and thus will create the least resistance. Secondly, somewhat training, innovative change. Innovative change is the introduction of a practice that is new to the organizations. This form of change involves moderate complexity, cost, and uncertainty. It is therefore to trigger some fear and resistance among employees. The third form of change is very threatening, radical innovative change. Radically innovative change involves introducing a practice that is new to the industry because it is the most complex, costly, and uncertain. It will be viewed as extremely threatening to managers' confidence and employee job security and may will tear the fabrics of the organizations. Next, Levine change model, unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. First, unfreezing, creating the motivations to change. In the unfreezing stage, managers try to instill in employee the motivations to change, encouraging them to let go of attitude and behavior that are resistant to innovations. For this unfreezing to take place, employees need to become dissatisfied with the old ways of doing things. Managers also need to reduce the barrier to change during this stage. Changing, learning new ways of doing things. In the changing stage, employees need to be given the tool for change, for example, new information, new perspective, new model of behavior. Managers can help here by providing bench such as marking results, role model, mental aspects, and training. Rephrasing, making the new ways normal. In the rephrasing stage, employee needs to be helped to integrate the change attitude and behavior into their normal ways of doing things. Manager can assist by encouraging employees to inhibit the new change and then through additional coaching and modeling by reinforcing the employee in the desired change. Next, we talk about system model of change. System model of change divided into three. There are input, target elements of change, and outputs. In terms of input, why change? A system approach always begins with the question of why change is needed at all. What the problem is that need to be solved. Example, why change? Because our designers are giving us terrible product that we can't sell. Whatever the answer, the system approach must make sure the desired change align with the organization strategy plan, mission, and vision statement. A second question is how willing and able are management and employee to make the necessary change. Readiness for change is defined as the belief Attitudes and intentions of the organization staff regarding the extent of the changes needed and how willing and able they are to implement them. Readiness has four components. First, how strongly the company needs the proposed change. Second, how much the top managers support the change. Third, and capable. How capable employees are of handling it. And last, how pessimistic or optimistic employees are about the consequences of the result. Next, the four target elements of change or the four levels are people, organizations, arrangements, method, and social factor. For people, we look at their knowledge, ability, attitude, motivations, and behavior. For organizations, arrangement such as policy and procedure, role, structure, rewards, and physical setting. For methods such as processes, workflow, job designs, and technology. For social factors such as culture, group processes, interpersonal interactions, communications, and leadership. Outputs. What result do we want from the change? Output represent desired goal of a change which should be consistent with the organization's strategy plan. Result must occur at the organization group or individual level or all three, but will be most difficult to effect at the organization's level because changes will mostly likely affect a wide variety of target elements. Lastly, feedback. How is the change working and what interaction need to be made? Not all changes work out well, of course, and organizations need to monitor their success. This is done by comparing the status of an output such as employee or customer satisfactions before the change to the same measurable output sometime after the change has been implemented.
Hi everyone, my name is Cheziru from Group 10 and I'm going to discuss chapter 10.3 Organizational Development. Organizational development is a set of techniques for implementing change such as improving performance, revitalizing organizations, and adapting to merger. In this topic, we will discuss about what can organizational development be used for, how organizational development works, and also the effectiveness of organizational development. What can organizational development be used for? The first point is improving individual, team, and organizational performance. Conflict is in most organizations. Sometimes an organizational development expert will help in the guest as an executive coach can help advise on how to improve relationship of other issues within the organizations. The second point is revitalizing organizations. Technology is changing so rapidly that nearly all modern organizations are having to adopt new ways of doing things in order to survive. Organizational development can help by opening communications, fostering innovations, and dealing with stress. The third point is adapting to merger. Merger and acquisition are associated with increased anxiety, stress, absenteeism, turnover, and decreased productivity. And now we move to how organizational development works. There are 4 steps: diagnosis, interventions, evaluations, and feedback. The first step is diagnosis. What is the problem? To carry out the diagnosis, Organizational development consultants or managers can use some combinations such as survey, interview, marketing, record, and also direct observations of people attitude to identify problem area. The second step is interventions. What shall we do about it? Interventions is the attempt to correct the diagnosed problem. Often this is done using the service of an organization development consultant who work in conjunction with management team. Some organizational development activity for implementing plan change including communicating survey results to employees to engage them in constructive problem solving, observing employer communication pattern and teaching employees skills to improve them. Helping group members learn to function as a team, stimulating better cohesiveness among several work groups, and also improving work technology or organizational design. The third step is evaluations. How well have the interventions worked? In organizational developments, need objective evaluation to see if it have done any good. Answer may lie in hard data about the absenteeism, turnover, and also profitability, which should be compared with the earlier statistics. And the last step is feedback. How can the diagnosis and interventions be further refined? If interventions show that the diagnosis was wrong or the interventions was not effective, the organizational development consultant or managers need to return to the beginning and reading these two steps. The last part is the effectiveness of organizational development. The first is multiple interventions. Organizational development success stories tend to use multiple interventions, such as goal setting, feedback, recognition and reward, training, participations, and changing job design, have good results in improving performance and also satisfactions. The second point is management support. Organizational development is more likely to success when top managers give the organizational development program their support and truly committed to the change process and design goal of change program. Using employee feedback during the change is the one way to demonstrate this support. And the third is goal geared to bold and long-term results. Change programs are more successful when they are oriented toward achieving both short-term and long-term results. Managers should not engage in organizational change for the sake of change. The last is organizational development is affected by culture. Organizational development effectiveness is affected by cross-cultural considerations. Thus, an organizational development interventions that work in one country should not be further applied to similar situation country. That's all for me. This is the end of my presentations. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chua Jiamin with matrix number 292441. Now I want to go through the next subtopic, which is organizational innovation. There are two types of innovation. The first one is focused on improvement, and the second one is focused on new direction. Example for product improvement is Apple iPhone. There are 11 generations or versions since first introduced in June 2007. But now, in 2022, the newest generation is 14. For your information, Apple will release new phone every year. This is because it is a competition. Competitors are doing it too, And Apple doesn't want to fall behind. They don't want to be the odd one who has a 2-year-old phone when their competitors have brand new phones. Technologies acts quickly. Example for process such as 3D printing. Alcoa's use of 3D printing in its manufacturing process. Alcoa is an aluminum company. Next, focus of innovation in new direction. This innovation focus on creating new markets and customer and rely on developing breakthroughs and inventing things that did not already exist. Example for product is driverless cars, major automobile manufacturers, and Waymo. Waymo is formerly known as the Google Self-Driving Car Project. It's an American autonomous driving technology company headquartered in Mountain View, California. Example for process in home construction is panelized home. An innovation system, the supporting force for innovation or components of an innovation system. There are 7 components of an innovation system. The first one, create an innovation strategy. Many companies fail in their improvement efforts because they lack an innovation strategy. An innovation strategy which amounts to a plan for being more innovative. The second one, commitment from senior leaders. The third one, foster an innovative culture and climate. The fourth one, require structure and process. The fifth one, develop the necessary human capital. And the number 6 component, human resource policies, practice, and procedures. And the last one component of an innovation system is appropriate resources. Thank you.
Her individual difference, actions and inactions, and perception of change. Okay, the second one is change agent characteristic. Change agent characteristic is the characteristics of the change agent, the individual who is a catalyst in helping organizations change. Also consists of his or her individual differences, experiences, actions and inactions, and perceptions of change. Such characteristics that might contribute to employee resistance to change include leadership style, personality, tactfulness, sense of timing, awareness of cultural traditions or group relationships, and ability to empathize with the employee's perspective. The last one is change agent employee relationships. As we might accept, resistance to change is reduced when change agents and employees have a trusting relationship, faith in each other's intention. Mistrust, on the other hand, encourages secrecy, which begets deeper mistrust and can doom an otherwise well-conceiving change. Okay, so next one is 10 reasons employees resist change. Whether changes are adaptive, innovative, or radically innovative, employees may resist change for all kinds of reasons. 10 of the leading reasons for not accepting change are individuals' predisposition toward change, surprise and fear of the unknown, climate of mistrust, fear of failure, loss of status or job security, peer pressure, disruption of cultural traditions or group relationships, personality conflicts, lack of tact or poor timing, non-forcing reward system. So first one, we can see individuals' predisposition toward change. How people react to change depends a lot on how they learn to handle change and ambiguity as children. If a child's parents were patient, flexible, and understanding, and if she learned there were positive outcomes associated with the loss of immediate gratification, then as an adult she may be more likely to associate making change with love and approval. Conversely, if a child's parents were unreasonable and unwilling, forcing him to do things like piano lessons, for example, that he didn't want to do, then as an adult he may be distrustful or making changes if he associates with them with demands of complaint. Second one is surprise and fear the unknown. When radically different changes are introduced without warning, for example, without any official announcements, the office rumor mill will go into high gear, and if affected employees will become fearful and the implication of the change. It is essential for change leaders to explain the rationale for change, to educate people about the personal implications of change, and to garner committed to change. The third one is climate of mistrust. The trust involves reciprocal faith in others' intention and behavior. Mistrust encourages secrecy, which causes deeper mistrust, putting even well-conceived changes at risk of failure. Managers who trust their employees make the change process an open, honest, and participative affair. All thought employees who feel fairly treated by managers during change are less likely to resist. Next one is fear of failure. Intimidating changes on the job can cause employees to doubt their capabilities. Self-doubt erodes self-confidence and cripples personal growth and development. Okay, next one, loss of status or job security. Administrative and technological changes that threaten to alter power bases or eliminate jobs, as often happens during corporate restructuring that threaten middle management jobs, generally trigger strong resistance. The sixth is peer pressure. Even people who are not themselves directly affected by impending changes may actively resist in order to protect the interests of their friends and CO workers. 7 is destruction of cultural traditions or group relationships. Whenever individuals are transferred, promoted, or re-exiled, it can disrupt existing culture and group relationships. Next is personality conflicts. Just as a friend can get away with telling us something we would resent hearing from an adversary, The personalities of change agents can breed resistance. Next, lack of tact or poor timing. Introducing change in an insensitive manner or at an awkward time can create employee resistance. Employees are more adept to accepting changes when managers effectively explain their value, as for example in demonstrating their strategic purpose to the organization. The last one is non-forcing reward system. Employees are likely to resist when they can't see any positive rewards from proposed changes, as for example when one is asked to work longer hours without additional compensation. Second one is career corner. Model of career witness. We can see that the first one is core. In the core we have a few elements, that is critical thinking, problem solving, oral, written communication, teamwork, collaboration, information technology application, leadership, professionalism, work ethic, and cross-cultural competency. And the next one is soft skills. We have decision making, social intelligence, networking, emotional intelligence. And next is attitudes. Ownership, accepting responsibilities, self-motivation, proactive learning orientation, showing committed, positive approach, positive career management, and knowledge, task-based, functional, computational thinking, understanding the business, new media literacy. Next one is other characteristics. We have resilience, personal adaptability, self-awareness, service, others orientation, openness to change, generally self-efficiency. Okay. Career corner, managing your career readiness. The first one is applying self-affirmation theory. The first one is we have an innate need to maintain a positive overall self-view. What causes us to be close-minded about controversial topics or feedback about our behavior? According to self-affirmation theory, we all possess a strong desire to maintain a global or overall sense of self-integrity. In simple terms, this means that as humans, we really want to see ourselves as generally good, and we trust people who behave in appropriate ways. Second is when our positive self-view is treated, we switch to self-protective mode. Two renowned physiologists note much research suggests that people have a psychological immune system that initiates protective adaptations when an actual or impending threat is perceived. The goal of this mechanism is to restore self-worth. Third is we can maintain our self-view in two ways, and one is definitely the better choice. When our self-view is treated, we naturally attempt to protect it. Say, for example, that you get caught in a lie. Even though deep down you know you have behaved dishonestly, your his soul will do everything it can to keep on seeing itself as good and virtuous. The key message of self-affirmation theory is don't fight the urge to affirm your self-view in this situation, but rather work with it. Specifically, when you experience a threat to your self-view, remind yourself that you can choose to respond in one of two ways. Okay, the second one is practicing self-compassion. The first one is practice self-kindness. Replace perfection and self-judgment with forgiveness and kindness. Accept your imperfections and talk to yourself as you would to a loved one. Remind yourself that you are not alone. Psychotherapist Megan Bruno reminds us that to feel is to be human, and that whatever we are going through is also being experienced by millions of others. If we can recognize our shared humanity, that no one of us is perfect, we can begin to feel more connected to others with a sense of us is perfect. We can begin to feel more connected to others with a sense that we are all in this together. Practice mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness is a state of being present non-judgmentally. Meditation can help you achieve this stage and avoid the negative thoughts that inhibit openness to change. Okay, that's all for my presentation. Thank you.